Hi everyone, welcome back. So, this week we're going to be talking about chapter 5, which is on deciding on key channels. So, the first thing that we're going to look at is how digital marketers use artificial intelligence, behavioral marketing, messenger marketing, email campaigns, and customer experience marketing to leverage an organization, especially in an online environment. We're going to define the three T's in digital marketing. You're probably like, what in the world is the three T's? You will find out. And then we're going to look at ways on how businesses can implement the three T's in their marketing strategies. So, first things first, let's talk a little bit about your author. So, Dawn McGuire said, who's the founder of Business Consort, she said it is better to master one channel than dilute your efforts across multiple channels. And we always start out our PowerPoints with a quote. And this time it's actually from the author of your textbook and basically this PowerPoint. She is right on track. I think that, in my professional opinion, it is better to have one channel that you can reach your target customers and audiences and definitely build those relationships instead of spreading it out across like Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, Visco, like all of that information, and not really building any clientele, any relationships, maintaining relationships, and building converted sales. So, I think this is a really good quote going into the chapter. So, we're going to look at artificial intelligence. Artificial intelligence is a major topic right now. I did a conference in New Orleans, Louisiana, and it was actually really beneficial to go to this conference because I did my research on how artificial intelligence can be used in a bias standpoint to recruit individuals. And I think that's interesting because artificial intelligence is a machine, so it's actually learning human biasome, which is not good. That's actually why we want to use artificial intelligence, so it takes all of the emotion out of it. So, artificial intelligence is when machines think like humans. It has been revolutionary in automating repetitive tasks like responding to social media comments. Yes, machines can do that. Sometimes it's not the actual account, it's a machine responding to your comment. Automating site chat using frequently asked questions, appointment setting, tagging people, and segmenting them into demographics and interest based audiences. Have you ever been on like Facebook? I know Facebook's kind of old, but if you've ever been tagged in a photo, it might like pop up and say like, "Hey, this looks like you. Do you want us to tag you in it?" That's kind of creepy, but that's actually artificial intelligence. And then creating automated conversion funnels. An example of artificial intelligence being used is Facebook Messenger, and they have a tool called Mobile Monkey. This is where you can drive digital engagement through leveraging artificial intelligence for user intent, as you can match content to keywords and interactions. So this also leads to the embraces marketers for successful type marketing called behavioral marketing. Because once you have all this data about your people and target audience, then you can actually target their behaviors. So let's talk a little bit about behavioral marketing. This is when you market to potential prospects or customers based on their actions. Have you ever thought you're being tracked by the FBI when you go on Amazon and then the next thing you know, the product you looked at shows up on Instagram? That is actually artificial intelligence being transformed into behavioral marketing. So rather than trying to prejudge their interests, the business or you are aligning your content with what you already know that they have previously interacted with. So that's a really great example. It is not the FBI or the CIA looking into your Facebook. They don't care that much. It is just marketing and data. You can use behavioral marketing to run contests, promotions, quizzes, customer surveys, webinar registration, nurture leads with drip campaigns. I think the drip campaign sounds so funny. Capture advert leads and send notifications, update, and promotions through tools like Facebook Messenger. Facebook Messenger, I don't know how much you all use that. I really don't use Facebook a whole lot just on a personal level. But I am actually like really weird about the red circle being up on my phone. So I do go check Facebook just to get rid of the red circle or on Facebook Messenger, which leads me into this next slide. So Facebook Messenger marketing. First of all, Mailchimp conducted a research spanning millions and millions of emails. Mailchimp is like this amazing software and it's free. And they announced that their average open rate for an email is only 20%. So that means 1 out of every 5 emails that a company sends, only one is being opened. So 20%. Um, Messenger, on the other hand, has an open rate that is regularly in the 70 to 90% range. Now, I fall into that category because I want to know who's messaging me, and I don't like the notification. So almost everyone opens their messages on Messenger, and Messenger has a 4 times higher open rate than email. You all have probably not really considered Facebook Messenger to be an actual tactic to market to individuals, but it's actually really beneficial. I mean, think about that. You went from 20% to 70 to 90% of an open rate. That's crazy. At this part of the same research, MailChimp tells us that the average click through rate for opening an email is only 2.4%. So not only are you opening it, which is 20%, but there's an average click through rate, which is actually like clicking on the email and it taking you to a landing page. It's only 2.4. So then you've only decreased it like drastically. So that means out of 41 emails that you send, only one single person will actually click through your email. I mean, you spend all this time on this email, and if you're sending it out to 41 people, only one of those people are going to open your email. That's so wild. On Messenger, there's a click-through rate of 20 to 30%. So 70 to 90% of people are actually opening it, and 20 to 30% are actually reading it and clicking through the message. This is actually a strong signal that people do not like to open message and read and interact with them. Messenger has an 8 to 12.5 times higher click-through rate than an email. So going forward, especially in your interviewing processes, if you are going to be a digital marketer, if you're interested in the field, there's actually positions based on email and ways to connect with consumers for businesses. You should actually use this to leverage your interview and say like you have new ways and you actually have research and data to back it up. And you can definitely find this study on like Google, type in the MailChimp study, and this should pop up. Email campaigns. So all that information really doesn't mean that emails are pointless. It's actually really beneficial. You can have an automated list of emails being sent out. And I mean, think about it. Even though if you send out 41 emails and one person's opening it to purchase something, what if they purchase like $1,000 worth of items on your website? Then it kind of seemed worth it. But it does not mean that they do have to be exceptionally well thought out to deliver results that a business wants. An email campaign needs to be strategized in a series of communications to engage in customers. I see a lot of emails that I subscribe to kind of be not only tailored to what I like, but in a series. So maybe like 1 month, I subscribe to Sephora. I love Sephora. I think it's wonderful. And I spend a lot of money there, so I get like crazy discount. So Sephora will do like 1 whole month of like focusing just on my hair. And they'll send me all these like emails and information and coupons and whatnot about just hair products for curly girls. And I think that's really awesome because they're trying to communicate with me and build this relationship by engaging in something that's relative to me. And probably to like thousands of more people that have curly hair. So it's really not that hard for them to do this and send it out. You can also look at what needs to be happening to educate, entice, and convert customers, and think about plotting out strategies such as how you could use frequently asked questions in a series of emails when somebody inquires to address sales objections head on. So questions to consider when developing an email series. So first you have to consider are the frequently asked questions that you know people are always going to ask that you could front load in emails to overcome these objections. So kind of taking out these frequently asked questions, maybe you send a link to your webpage that talks about frequently asked questions, or it just kind of addresses them subtly throughout either one email or several different emails. What information does someone need when they first become aware of you? What free resources would assist them on the decision-making process? Is there a way that you can interact with them? You can respond to them via email to email, or can they schedule a call? I love scheduling a call. Apple does this. You can get on, like, they can send you an email, and then you can say, like, schedule a call with them, and you can actually set the time that you want Apple to call you. Like, it can be like as soon as possible, or it can be like an hour, it can be in 2 days. I love that feature. I think it's really awesome. I put it in my planner, and it notifies me like, hey, Apple's about to call you in 5 minutes. So if you get a weird funky call from California, it's not spam, it's Apple. And then, if you are not already using marketing automation tools, you should start researching options like MailChimp. I think it's wonderful. I've actually used it with some organizations that I just kind of freelanced with. And it is free to use, it's very user friendly, and even for somebody that's brand new to the whole website. MailChimp also allows you to create landing pages with automated email sequences. I think MailChimp will actually like correspond with Wix. So if you're tech savvy and are interested in building websites, Wix is the way to go. Okay, customer experience marketing. This focuses on customer journey and engagement strategy for your audience. We've talked so much about the customer journey, and it's only week 3, right? We did basically week or chapters 1 through 4 on the customer journey. So we're still doing that. We're still building this customer experience marketing. Marketers are always looking for ways to enhance customers' interactions with their products and services. Time saving tools like voice enabled search, which I love, storytelling through video that really engages people in their whole experience with their product or a service that you might be providing and they want to know more about. Augmented reality. This is where you can superimpose computer generated imaginary into real world scenarios and social proof them to aid conversion and shorten the sales cycle. Basically, all marketing is you're trying to build relationships and shorten the sales cycle. That is so important. If you can take a stranger and make them a brand advocate, you're doing your job. You're doing something really well. Okay, so the 3 T's. And a modern day marketer should be focusing on optimization strategies to constantly fine tune campaigns and improve lead quality and conversion. There are a lot of reasons businesses or marketing fail to achieve results, but the main things that prevent a business from being successful is their digital marketing efforts that are broken down into these 3 categories: time, training, and tactics. So let's talk about time. So, in your working day, it actually can be really difficult to take large chunks of time out of strategies to plan, and it's very easy to move those tasks and projects to the side if there's not really a consequence. So, you're thinking, okay, like it's strategizing and planning, like that's so important, but it takes so much time. So, what they say is instead of, spending like an hour on this a day, do it in 10 minutes and do it for 10 minutes, take a break, do something else, come back to it. They call that chunking, and we do that a lot in learning. So it's not really down to the person, it's more about psychology. And psychology, you think it's actually easier to think about it being 10 minutes instead of like this whole hour. So allocating bite-sized chunks at a time is a commitment that is easy to stick to and in turn becomes a habit. So magically, it is now a part of your day. Training. Since the arrival of social media, there has been a stigma around allocating and budgeting for training because social networks have always been free to use, and therefore there are less financial risk of being involved. So there's not really this like upfront investment. So there's actually like a problem with that because organizations do not feel the need to train their employees on social media because they think, okay, well, it's free. How much can they mess it up? And they probably know how to use it. So they've noticed that software being purchased is actually beginning to get more structured. If you've ever heard of Hootsuite and Sprout Social, if your company purchases this, then you have more of a structured implementation, upskill, and strategy to getting that return on that investment through social media. So training is personally, I think, is very vital. It helps you branding, understanding what can be allowed on social media. If you work for a huge corporation, social media is like very strict. You can only do certain images. They have to be approved, color schemes, font sizes. That is all very important. Tactics is the last T. So this comes next. Actually knowing what the task or tactics are that you need to complete in order to carry out a project. They found that sitting down to do your social media caused people huge issues because when they delved deeper into what they were actually involved for, many had no idea what direction they were taking. So the two main reasons for this was one, that they thought they had no documented social media strategy, a big no-no. So they had no idea what the objective they were trying to actually achieve was and what success would actually look like in this. And then secondly, they had no idea what action steps and tasks are required to carry out successful social media campaigns, and what order and with what frequency they should be carried out. If you are really interested in doing a social media position for an organization, I really think that you should have research the company and have a game plan going into this position. And I think that you would have a really good shot getting the job if you get to the interview stage and pitch this strategy to them. So that is chapter 5. We really looked at the assessment of artificial intelligence for digital marketers and a business's customers. We examined behavioral marketing and the steps to take when better connecting with audiences online. We looked at the advantages of using Messenger over email and distinguished ways to improve email marketing campaigns. And then we also addressed the 3 T's, which were time, training, and tactics. So if you all have any questions regarding chapter 5 or basically anything else that we cover this week, please email me and I'd be more than happy to set up a Zoom meeting with you and we can discuss anything further. If not, I hope you all have a fabulous week and I will talk to you soon.